باب الصبر. This is the third chapter of Riyad-Us-Saliheen book, باب الصبر. قال الله تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اصبروا وصابروا. هذا translation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "O you who believe, be steadfast, be supreme in steadfastness." The meaning of sabiru, when you have something shared between two persons, and sabiru that to show who is going to show that he's more steadfast in that regard. In many occasions, or most of the occasions, whenever you have the verb sabiru or fa'ala yufa'ilu, any of that scale, it means that as if there is competition or something common shared between two persons, and the one who is going to show that he has this one more. And it's an action between two persons. Or sometimes it may mean between the person himself and the negative or disliked event that he has. Is this disliked event is going to be superior to him and affect him, or is it going to be superior to that disliked event and be patient or steadfast till it's gone away? See, this is the actual meaning of sabara yusabiru. وقال تعالى: وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And the Almighty said, we will test you with a certain amount of fear and hunger and loss of wealth and life and fruits, but give good news to the steadfast. This is the reality in this life. All of us, we are going to be tested by one way or another of these matters. And those who were addressed by this originally, they were those companions at the early days of Islam in Medina, where really they have shortage of everything, and they were not secure about any of their matter when they were in Medina. وقال تعالى: إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب. And the Almighty says, the steadfast will be paid their wages in full without any reckoning. And the Almighty said, but if someone is steadfast and forgives, that is the most resolute course to follow. ومن يتقي ويصبر فإن ذلك فمن عفا ولمن صبر وغفر إن ذلك لمن عزم الأمور. ولمن صبر وغفر إن ذلك لمن عزم الأمور. There's few verses not mentioning. And Almighty says, seek help in steadfastness and the prayer. Allah is with the steadfast. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. And the Almighty says, we will test you until we know the true figures among you and those who are steadfast. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ حَتَّى نَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا مِنكُمْ. Fighters, we will test you until we know the true fighters among you and those who are steadfast. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ حَتَّى نَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا مِنكُمْ وَنَعْلَمَ الصَّابِرِينَ. These are the verses in general. We'll start with the first hadith. وعن أبي مالك الأشعري رضي الله عنه قال: قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: والصلاة نور والصدقة برهان والصبر ضياء والقرآن حجة لك أو عليك كل الناس يغدو فبائع نفسه فمعتقها أو موبقها. رواه مسلم ودوام أوله سيأتي. This is a portion of Hadith. I don't know if it's mentioned completely in the English text. Abu Malik al-Harith ibn Asim al-Ash'ari reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, this I think that mentioned all of it. Purity is half of belief. Praise be to Allah fills up the balance, and glory be to Allah and praise be to Allah fills up everything between the heavens and the earth. The prayer is a light, sadaqah is a proof, steadfastness is an illumination. The Quran is a proof for you or against you. Everybody goes out and trades with his own self, either setting it free or destroying it. This unique hadith gives a definition by one word to many of our major factors in this life. And when you go one by one, we are going to learn a lot about certain of our matters and how we should look at it and practice it and deal with it. Purity is half of belief. If it means the inside, namely the heart, this highlights the good intention to Allah and to be sincere inside. If it meant for the outside matters, your body should be purified before prayer, namely we have wudu, we have ghusl. For zakat, charity, your wealth should be purified by the amount that you pay. Your body should be again purified by fasting, and you name it. You have it in many aspects. Praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fills the balance, because our deeds is going to be scaled in the hereafter in the balance. And one of the major matters that many people they may fail at it is the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In one hadith the Prophet said that one favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sight equal to the worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 500 years. And in another hadith that the person may come with mountains of good deeds, and you may have one favor that may take most of these mountains. For sure this is going to happen for those people who are not that thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they don't appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time, or they feel themselves as if they are making favor with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they pray or follow His commands subhanahu wa ta'ala or anything of that regard. That's why whenever you say praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is going to feel the balance, and counteract what the other portions, of favor that may take from your good deeds. This alone, when you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make alhamd to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is going to balance it for you. And that's why we should have this in our practice all the time. We should feel inside appreciation of whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did for us or gave us all the time. And we should extend our thanking not to be limited to our tongues. No, we should extend it to all of our portions, because each part of you has its own thank to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you use all of your organs in thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the real thanking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whereas when you use your tongue alone, this is the al-hamd. There is a significant change in Arabic when you say al-hamd or al-shukr. Al-hamd, to praise Allah, is by tongue. You say al-shukr, to thank Allah. The thank of the tongue is by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The thank of the eyes by using them in the according to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and protecting them of the prohibitions, and you name it, for all other organs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them to you as a favor. Then spoke about subhanallah walhamdulillah, they are going to feel everything between the heavens and the earth. Why? Because this is a combination of negating what's wrong to relate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and relate everything good to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here we have it in the negative and positive way. And by this matter, nothing is left. You negate anything which was wrong to be related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying subhanallah, and you relate everything which is positive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you have the combination of subhanallah walhamdulillah, you have done everything in a complete way. Then as-salatu nur, prayer is nur or light, and this is for anyone in need. I was asked many times about how to light our heart and how to have light in our life, not by electricity, by some other ways, and this is one of the major way that many persons, they may feel this is ordinary one and they want the extraordinary, and usually the ordinary, which we have been told about it by the Prophet ﷺ, this is the best way of getting the light from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here the Prophet ﷺ did not define, did not give any description to prayer except that it's the light. And by this, for sure you are going to gain your light for this life, for the grave stage, and for the hereafter. And sadaqah is the best proof that the one who paid charity is a believer, because no one is going to waste his money or spend his money in a matter that he doesn't believe in it. As you may see in this life, many of us sacrifice everything for money. And this person, when he spend money just he believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seek reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's meaning this is a significant proof or evidence that he believes in the hereafter. And as-sabr diya, that this is different way of having light in all of your life aspects. One of the major difference between light and diya, which is translated as illumination, in light usually there's no heat. In diya, when you have the expression diya, you have some type of heat. That's why the sunshine was described as diya, whereas the moonshine was described as nur. Because in the moon you don't feel any heat or whatever. Heat, it may be the same. And prayer is a matter of getting light without any hardship, because heat per se, to feel hot, is going to have something hard on you in that regard. And prayer, there's nothing hard on you, it's a enjoyable time. The Prophet ﷺ said, وَجُعِلَتْ قُرَّةُ عَيْنِي فِي الصَّلَاةِ. Whereas steadfastness contains some hardship on the person. That's why it was expressed as diya, not as nur. It may be the case. Then the Prophet ﷺ gave us definition about Quran. What is Quran to us? Quran to bear witness or to testify with us, supporting us or against us. Regardless of we feel or not, we know or not, the Quran Kareem is something put among us. And this is a significant favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or perhaps this is one of the most favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on us. And all of us, we are going to be asked about this significant favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How did we deal with it? Did we give the Holy Quran the place that it should be put at, or we ignore it and just, I say it all the time, nowadays, even in Syria, when you go and there is a recital of Quran, They feel someone died, that's why they are reciting Quran, And as if, it sounds as if that the Quran became only for those dead people. Is this the case? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Quran to us. This is one of the good matters to be practiced, to recite Quran for the dead person, But this is the only case that we have. We have many other matters which is much more important than all of that. And here the Prophet ﷺ tells us about it, that the Quran is going to speak supporting you or against you. And this is related to how do you deal with the Quran Kareem, how do you host this guest from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ gave us this fact. We should have a good attention and be aware about it. Don't feel that you are the same all the time. Every day you have a test. And you may pass this test or destroy yourself. And especially, you see, I feel it, I may be wrong. Nowadays we have a lot of changes all the time. I feel in the old days, 50 years ago or 100 years ago, they used to live, with the same pattern of life all the time. No significant changes there. Nowadays, all of us, we have a lot of changes every day. We travel today to that city. We met this day with this person. We have this, we open the internet, we watch the TV, we did so. We have a new friend, I got married to so and so, and you name it. And all these matters, they are certain events from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May put someone up or bring him way down. And we had these changes every day. That's why we were warned by the Prophet ﷺ that our time, you may find many persons, the morning they are believer and in the evening they are disbeliever or unbeliever because then he sold his religion. He sold his religion. That's why we should be too careful about this matter. And we should be too careful every morning. And that's why this gives us a lot of importance to Fajr prayer. Because many of the major events from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's side takes place at Fajr. Decision made at Fajr. Not for us, for the others. Azab, punishment come at Fajr. See? And that's why the Prophet said, the one who attends Fajr prayer with Jama'ah is guaranteed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is under the sponsorship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, we should keep up with these meanings, because really we are not in that easy time, I feel it, I may be wrong, as I said, 100 years ago, perhaps it was easier to deal with these matters. Nowadays, we should be fearful, of these matters, and we should take it with a lot of precaution, because some of them, all the time, you have some of those Muslims, who strayed away or sold their religion or had a wrong, very evil wrongdoing, which make them gone away, or destroyed completely, or this or that. And that's why we should be careful about all of these tests and matters, one of our problems nowadays, that we should know about everything done all over the world. By TV, by internet, and you name it. I should know about all actions and practice which was done by everyone, all over the globe. Regardless of how straight is this person, how is his religion, how good practitioner is he, or whatever, I should know about all of these matters. And when we know about them, be sure we are not the same. This is going to have a trace in our hearts. And this trace someday may find a place to work at. That's why the Prophet ﷺ instructed us, I keep saying it, to find the hate or to find the dislike of this matter in your heart. And this is the last point of Iman. There's nothing left after it. If you did not find in your heart that you dislike this or you hate this action, and it's left over even from your heart, you don't even give it any denial or any feeling of hate, that means nothing left, And this person easily may practice it or do it, without even feeling something wrong about it. Yes? Yes.
How does that relate back to the ayah in Baqarah when it says some of the salat that we have and it's difficult for etc.
Okay. It may mean prayer alone, and no doubt, especially those who are beginners in prayer, they are going to find it a little bit difficult sometimes, especially when they want to wake up in the morning to pray Fajr during summer, or even during summer when you have very late Isha nowadays in this area, some days of summer you may have Isha, it's too late, It may be difficult in one way or another when we are a little bit tired or lazy or sleepy or whatever. But it's not by any way comparable to steadfastness for disliked events that we have. Some Mufassirin, they said, وَإِنَّهَا الْإِسْتِعَانَةِ, to seek help by steadfastness and by prayer, it's kabira. Not everyone is going to accept this from you, especially when they are in real problem, in real trouble. They want some physical, something have meaning for them, to help you, to help them by it, When you ask them to seek help from prayer or from steadfastness, they may feel that you are crazy or that you are flying or you are having fun with them, kidding with them, or whatever, because they really feel that they are real need. And as we said in many occasions, whatever you have, you should feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the nearest to you, and you should have the most confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other questions? Move to next hadith. This is one of the very brief hadith which contains a lot of meaning, because the Prophet ﷺ gave only one definition to each one of our major practice or major deeds. And all of us, we are exposed to these matters, all the time, and we should know what we are doing. And here, by the Prophet ﷺ, we were told what the fact, what the actual matter, or what the fruit you are going to get from these major deeds that we deal with them daily, many times. Next hadith, وعن أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: ومن يتصبر يصبره الله وما أعطي أحد عطاء خيرا وأوسع من الصبر. رواه البخاري ومسلم. Apparently in the Arabic text here they are summarized, but in the English text you are lucky you have it all mentioned completely. Abu Sa'id, Sa'ad ibn Malik ibn Sinan al-Khudri said, some of the people of the Ansar asked for something from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he gave it to them. Then they asked him again, and he gave to them until he had used up everything he had sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was his tradition. He said, if I had anything more, I would not keep it from you. However, be friends Allah will spare him from, whoever refrains, Allah will spare him from needing to ask. Whoever wants to be independent, Allah will make him so. Whoever shows fortitude, Allah will increase him in that. No one can be given any better and greater gift than fortitude. Again, this is very good point, of explaining a matter that many of us may be misled by it, which is we feel that we have a lot of needs. We need a lot of money, we need a lot of health, we need a lot of time, we need a lot of this and that, and you name it. And many of us, we are going to spend a lot of time collecting these matters without finding a time to spend them. We need a lot of money. Can you eat money when you are hungry? Can you have clothes, from money? No. Money is not meant by itself. Money is meant to have something done by it. Okay, doesn't mean anything by itself. It's good. So here, all these matters, we feel that they are needed for us for other purposes, for our children education, for when we get old, for our sickness or disease, and you name it. Okay? But this is an endless chain. And whenever you have anything covered from your needs, you are going to find 10 more show up that you are in need. And when you cover these 10, you are going to find 20, and you name it. This is an endless chain. Okay. So that's why we should have confidence in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should feel that we are rich by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our master, our Lord. And we should feel that something which may be used as a break or as something to help us to be steadfast, to feel that I'm not going to give myself whatever it desires to have, or I'm not going to fulfill all of my needs, because as I know, this is an endless chain, and anyone is interested in that regard is going to be busy all the time, and all of a sudden find himself out of all these matters, running to the hereafter. I should have free time to know how to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I should have free time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why I need the sabr. The sabr, by definition, we may know that sabr or may feel that the sabr is only for the disaster. No, sabr is for 3 matters. Sabr is for whenever you have anything you don't like, not only disaster, anything that you don't like, to show steadfastness, that you have break, that you are not going to scream a lot or cry a lot or do some behavior, a lot. You are going to control yourself. On the other hand, whenever you have something good or a lot of money or whatever, you are not going to go beyond your limits, saying, I am the best person in this world, in this universe, and I'm going to be granted by Allah since I had in this dunya everything, for sure in the hereafter I'm going to be one of the lords in the hereafter. And again, this person is has gone beyond the limits, and by sabr, steadfastness, we are not going to practice as such. And you have for the worshipping of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is something is going to be attached to you as long as you are in this life. Not to get hold of it, not to have it in a quick way or compromise it. You should have some sort of sabr to have it done exactly, completely as you had done it first time, or when the Prophet ﷺ gave us another example. Feel that this is the last prayer, the last chance of praying for you. How you are going to pray when you are told that this is the last prayer? For sure it's going to be close or perfect. Close to perfect or perfect. And I said it before, one of our major negative problems that the habitual matter. When you get habit to anything, you get used to anything, you are going to lose a lot of your interest in that matter. You still believe in it, you still practice it, but you are going to lose significant interest in that matter. And this by itself is a real problem. That's why we should have a recharge of our battery, of our heart, every once in a while, to have different tastes, to have different practice, to have different feeling, and to come with a new idea or no optimistic matter that I'm going to get the maximum of this matter again. We need this all the time, and the sabr is one of the matter to make you take it easy and don't be in a hurry in this practice. That's why the Prophet ﷺ described that nothing given to anyone is broader than the sabr. Why? Because this is going to work with you on all aspects of your life. The disliked position, the liked position, and the worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For all these matter, we don't have anything going to work for you much more than sabr. Yes? I understood the question well, you know, that sometimes we may feel or pretend that we are stable, you know, and show patience, but inside we have a lot of dislike of this matter or intolerance of this matter. This is the question? Okay. This is a good way, you know, of start. And as the Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَنْ يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصَبِّرْهُ اللَّهُ. Yeah, it's a matter of training. For sure, we are not equal in our nature in this matter. Some people, they have a very high grade of tolerance, the other they don't. And our reaction, our emotion to many matters, you know, is going to be differs a lot. But the point here is to improve myself. And how I'm going to improve myself? To try to train myself to have higher degree of tolerance, a higher degree of patience, and by this way I'm going to find myself going up gradually the grade of sabr that I'm given, you know, and this is one of the way of improving myself. The other way, by asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support me and give me the help in that tolerance or patience. And none, as the Prophet ﷺ said, none accept excuses like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at this particular individual, knowing that he showed the best that he has, even though it's not that good one, you know, it's not going, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to punish or blame that particular person. Yes?
Past couple of days, I've been talking with the brothers about some of the problems that converts experience when they go to the mosque. Often there's sometimes there's racism, sometimes there's a lot of problems, and it's something that the convert community feels very strongly about. It's like, you know, sometimes we're obstructed from moving forward in certain matters. In our collective work, in our dawah, for example, because we haven't got the support that we feel like we should have. And when I brought it to the brothers, they practically said to me, you should have patience with our bad manners, and it's a gift to you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's rather than taking responsibility, they use a sabr to say, we'll be patient with it. And I've heard the same thing for like 10 years. And I'm thinking, it's one thing to have sabr for it in your own regard, but it shouldn't stop you. There's nothing wrong with forbidding the wrong of that action for other people's sake, is there? If I, for example, have been sitting itikaf for 10 or 15 years in a mosque, and I'm a single man, and I'm a mature man, and I approach the brothers because I want to get married, and the brothers say, my sister, she wouldn't marry you because of the colour of your skin, because you're white. I'm not going to bother asking. Do I still have to have patience with that and accept that as a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Should I be honored by that, or should I make a stand and say, hang on a minute, you guys need to act differently? And to what extent should I be having patience? Should I just carry on being quiet, or should I start making noise about it? Because it's not Islamic, that's the bottom line.
Firstly, all of us, without exception, all human, will not achieve or get everything that we want in this life. By different ways. And the ways you mentioned, racism, this, that, you name it. We have a lot of matters which are going to prohibit us of having something. Okay? This is the first point. The second point, if you did not feel that it's a gift from Allah, consider it as a test from Allah. Okay. The third point, you mentioned in your question about da'wah, that you want to make da'wah to Allah. And this should remind us that Sayyidina Nuh stayed and his people, among his people, for 950 years making da'wah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Just few, those who followed Sayyidina Nuh. Even the Prophet ﷺ described for us in the hereafter that you may have some prophets, no one did follow him. Or a prophet only with one follower, or with few. Or when we read even about the Prophet ﷺ, how did he suffer, how did he sacrifice many matters in his life in this matter, just asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him for this blind person he should spend enough time with him and whatever. All these stories in the Quran al-Kareem and the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ, this to tell us that in this life we are not going to have everything according to our needs or our wish or whatever we want, It's going all to be according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes I may have the ability to get it or to change certain matters to get it. On other times, I don't have this ability. That's why the Prophet ﷺ described that the broadest thing to be given is the sabr. Why? Because even if you have the ability to get it, you need sabr. Why? To be regulated and not go beyond your extension or expand your ability or harm someone else. Here you need regulation, and this is by sabr. And when you did not get it, again you need sabr. You see, in both cases you need sabr. And I'm not inshallah exaggerating when I tell you about this experience from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He said, I was tested by fitnatul darra, to get hurted, harmed. He was beaten up. And I had good and enough steadfastness. I was tested by fitnatul sarra, to have everything available for me. I am highly respected among the governors and the others, and everyone. And I'm afraid that I'm not going to pass this test, or to be accepted in that manner. You see, and here, out of the experience of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, tells us when we have it in the way, the negative way, or when we get harmed about it or hurted, even though it may be painful to us, it's easier than when you have it in the other way. Why? Because when you are hurted or harmed, You are going to find it in your heart all the time, and you are going to control yourself and not go beyond your limits, because you don't have any other choice. Whereas on the other hand, most of people, they are going to go loose and they forget everything and not having a break. Example of it, if you drive a car, and you have very difficult road, to go, and a lot of curves and whatever, you are here limited. You don't have the ability to get whatever you want. Okay? Whereas when you have freeway and open for you, many of us, we are not going to control ourselves, and eventually we are going to have a car accident by this. Because we will go beyond the control. Why? Because we feel everything is available and I have the ability to go by the way that I want to go. You see, this is a good example of it, yes?
Buddhists say these things, but then the difference between most of us and Noah alayhi salam, he was making the effort as well as having the patience.
That's right. That's why I told you, if you have the ability to get it, you should show your efforts in that regard. But be sure, not yourself in particular, all of us, even though that we may show a lot of efforts and we are good at it, on some occasion we are not going to get it. We are going to find this in ourselves sometimes, no doubt about it. And we should fully understand it. No more? Okay. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله